Hi everyone, Happy New Year! My name is Ivy Ikpeme-Mbakwem and I'm the author of A Bouquet from the Flames. It's my uh, journey. I share my story on DIY healing, growth through pain, and lessons learned along the way. It's such an interesting book, really. I mean, it's a book that I've actually, expressed my vulnerability and I guess that's one of the reasons why this book took a while to actually come out because just showcasing your your weaknesses for the entire world to to know is is one thing, and it takes a lot. And so maybe that's the reason why I've been so shy, camera shy, and I've not, come out to really talk about the book. But you know, once a light of candle has been lit, it just needs to burn and, shine. Okay, so so yeah. Hmm. So I'm just gonna read something from the prelude of my book, right? Just to set off the conversation I want to have today. So I say here, why do you allow yourself to become bitter from the pain? Why not be a bouquet from the flames? So I see myself as a bouquet from the flames, right? Because I chose not to be bitter. So pain has a way of influencing how you live your life, what you think, how you behave. It's something, it's crazy. And because you find yourself thinking those thoughts, what happens is that it becomes a lifestyle for you, right? You just live a bitter lifestyle. But you can choose because we all have the power of choice. You can choose to heal. And healing is a journey that each person has to go through on their own. It's individual to you. But the most important thing is making that intention and then deciding to actually heal and taking the right steps. So, what are the right steps to healing? There's so many steps to healing, right? I mean, if you go all over the internet, you'll find different things, okay? But each person has a different way that they love, to listen to a certain kind of genre of music. All right, so there's a way a certain genre of music will appeal to you. For example, I love classical music. I love the opera as well. And, you know, I love to listen to that when I'm working because it allows me to experience, my creativity, brings it out, right? And some other person might just love to listen to classical music when they're just relaxing at, on the couch and just not wanting to speak to anyone. So everybody has their own different way of experiencing things, right? So with that being said, this is my own blueprint on how to heal, which I believe that anybody can pick up and pick out just areas that would appeal to you. So not all areas will appeal to you. However, I set the tone for that conversation in your head because you need to change your thinking to change your life, right? Okay, so who is this book for? So that's me, it's a lady on the cover, but you know what? It's not just for women. It's for every single person. Anybody can pick up this book to read. I've had guys who've read it and like, wow, okay, you really shared some good, nuggets, right? But women are my center stage because I'm really passionate about growing women and just helping them heal and express themselves purposefully in their chosen path, right? So that's my passion, yes. So it's for women in business, women in the professional world, women in homemaking. So you could be married, and this book would actually tell you because I mean, in marriages, people go through all kinds of stuff, right? Your hubby may just really get you really upset, and you hold on to it, or vice versa. And you must understand that that pain which you are hugging like a lover, has a way of influencing what happens in your marriage, and it could be negative. It's also for single women who are going through, breakups, heartbreaks, and all. I mean, you just need to know that there's there's life after heartbreak, and your life means and counts for something, right? So I mean, how would you heal? That's there. You also have people who are separated, right? So you're going through separation, and sometimes the separation has you just staying so low. You're ashamed. You feel like you failed. I mean, I went through that. So this book helps. And then if you're divorced as well, so you're looking, okay, so I'm divorced, and how do I take my life to the next level? Sometimes we don't even think about it. But what I would like to say here is that every situation, every experience that we go through is not just for you, it is for someone else. It's a lesson for you that you can now pass forward to someone else. So what I like to say is that life gave me pain and I made healing aid with it. So, it came from the flames is really interesting. I talk about different things. So first of all, I'll just give you a background. So I got separated in 2016, and it was quite a painful separation, right? And we had a child in between us. Um, I was also working. I was working. I had a fast-paced job, and the truth of the matter is that when I know most organizations are looking and saying, "Oh, let's do emotional healing. Let's emotional intelligence training for our leaders in the organization and for people," right? But one thing that we don't understand is that the training is just one thing. You train today, and then what's the follow up? People are going through a lot. Even the supervisors and the leaders in the organization are going through a lot, right? They are. So in a fast-paced job, you're going through. People expect that you leave your pain or your troubles behind, come to work, act professional, and then go back home to meet it without dealing with it. It doesn't work. You can never work like that. Wherever you go, your pain goes with you. So, while at the bank, I was working with the bank then. I mean, it was something else. I mean, there's no way that my boss would have had time to look at me and look into my eyes and say, "Ivy, are you okay? What's going on? Come, let's talk." It was crazy. I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it. I had to show up, you know, all dressed up, made up, and professional. I couldn't carry whatever it was. I mean, it was on my shoulder. I had it with me in my handbag. Yes, but the thing is, I needed to rise above that pain so that I could perform at my job because I was handling quite a lot and I needed to perform. I mean, I had KPIs. I needed to deliver. And you cannot deliver quality when you've allowed whatever it is you're going through to control you. And so it's so key that people understand that your healing, your healing is your responsibility. I'll tell you that. So if your state of mind, if you haven't reached a depressive state that is clinical, then I can tell you that you can actually rise above depression because I did. You just have to be intentional about it. You have to desire it. You have to have a picture of yourself, thriving without the pain. Yes. So this book actually helps you to do that. I think it's really an interesting book if I should say so myself. Um, I had so much fun writing this book. Um, I had so much fun writing the book. I had a lot of growth experiences even while writing the book as well. It's a beautiful book. So in the book, I talk about my often called adversity. Yes, because sometimes we bring adversity on ourselves through our choices, and we don't realize it. So that means that you must understand that you must take responsibility for wherever you are, and even for your failures. And most people never do that. I think that's the beginning of you realizing, that look, I'm going to, move on to that journey. I'm going to take that journey to healing. Once you understand that, okay, I was responsible for so, so, and so. So you take responsibility for that failure. And then from there, you move on. So your lessons learned. I talk about the liberation of the mind. Why do I talk about this? Because we men, I mean, I've been through this. I got to go through it. We've had society and different influences um, cage us, right? Cage our thinking, and so it's important that we understand that we need to set our minds free. And setting your minds free is an action that is required by you. It's so important because if you cannot liberate your mind, you cannot. It's important for you to actualize healing in the true sense of the word. That's the truth, right? You need to liberate your mind, and there are ways for you to do so, but you need to understand that your mind is caged before you can free free. So I talk about that in the book, and I think that it would really be interesting. I talk about learning how to lean, so we're so proud in most of us are so proud, really. So you're going through stuff and you want to just handle everything on your own. Oh, no, no. I was working in a professional environment, for crying out loud, and I knew that it was very important that I leaned on support, right? And so, yes, so learning to lean is very key. I talk about, forgiveness. Forgiveness is such an important part of your healing journey. If you are at a place where you're holding on to the hurt, right? And you're holding on to the person who's hurt you, you're really holding on to that. It's not good for you. I have to say, it really isn't good for you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your mental state. It's not good for your heart, right? So, you need to learn how to forgive. And I learned how to forgive. There's a process that I share. Simple. But it's important that you forgive so that you can move on. Forgiveness is not necessarily for the person who wronged you, but it's for you. I know sometimes it's funny when it's, oh, forgiveness is for you. Yes, it's for you. It's for you. I also talk about you know finding your little girl. And I mean, if you're a guy listening to this or reading my book, you'd say, finding your little boy. Yes. Why am I saying this? Lots of stuff that we wanted to do when we were kids. At that point where we had no inhibitions, we were like, Wonder Woman, Superwoman, we could do anything in our minds, right? But what happened? Life happened to us. Life just came and happened. And some of those beautiful dreams that we had just got stuck somewhere in the past. So, if you're wondering, why is it that I'm making all this money? I have a fantastic job, I'm doing so well, yet I feel that something is missing. You should read this book. It will help you to find out what is missing. I also talk about for each and every person, right? It's important for you to accept who you are, right? So we have different people. I mean, we have a way of looking at other people achieving stuff and then looking at our own achievements as non-achievements, right? And so it's important that you begin to accept who you are, acknowledge what it is that you do, what you're doing, even the little impact that you're having, no matter how small. So I talk about that. I talk about, the fears that I have. I talk about self-love. Um, I break down self-love. A lot of people don't know how to love themselves. So every time you hear self-love, you need to love yourself, but nobody really tells you how. So in my journey, I learned how to love myself. And I share with you those steps. I mean, if you're not loving yourself, then you're on a long thing. I don't know why I say that. Why did I say that? Okay, so yeah, you need to learn to love yourself. And I show you, I have some steps on what steps that you can take to actually love yourself. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised at those steps and how they would actually help you to love yourself. I also talk about, there's a particular chapter that is dedicated to someone really special in my life. When you read it, you will know. And also, lessons. I share the lessons, right? And I'm so excited about this book because I feel free. I feel free that I was able to go through a healing journey that has me really beautiful. You know, see, one of the things that I need to really share here is that there's a lot of power in the energy that you give off. And the energy you give off is what's inside of you. So that's why I said, why would you be bitter from your pain? Why not be a bouquet from the flames? A bouquet is a beautiful thing. I mean, when a woman receives a bouquet of flowers, I mean, she's like, oh, she feels so special, right? She's smiling the entire day. I have a bouquet of flowers. If someone gives me a bouquet of flowers, I mean, I put them in my house somewhere really nice in a vase, and I just love it. It beautifies the entire place for the period that it's alive, right? It's still blooming, So why would I be bitter? So now let's look at that. Bitter bouquet. Bitter a bouquet. There's energy in bitterness, and there's also energy in being in flowers, and being a bouquet, being something beautiful. So you choose what energy you want to give off. And when I say energy is powerful, whatever it is that you are radiating, right? Energy you're radiating is what you're going to attract. That's what you attract. And so when you find things, when you're attracting the wrong people and you're finding yourself in the wrong places, it's because of the energy that you are giving off. And it's like a magnet, it just attracts all the wrong things. And so in my healing journey, I made a decision that I wasn't going to be bitter, right? I was going to be okay. I just wanted to leave a lasting fragrance, with anyone whenever I left. So that when you ever think of a good feeling, you will think of Ivy. Maya Angelou said, in one of her quotes that people remember how you made them feel. I always wanted to make people feel great, beautiful, right? Feel like people of value. And so I took my mind off my pain to grow myself. Okay, so I grew through my pain. And I tell you, I know the energy. So from a place of self-awareness, I can say that the energy that I give off is really, really positive. Um, so yeah, I mean, buy the book, read it. I designed this book to be read as an individual, you read it on your own, or you can read it as a group. You can read it as a group of men and women who want to come together and just talk. There are loads and loads of conversational topics here that you can pick from here. Things that you can just decide, okay, let's talk about this today, Yes. Um, I think that it would make really good um lunch, dinner table conversations, lunch and learn conversations. Yes, because what we're looking for, ultimately is a transformation from, of an individual transformation. So imagine if let's look at the power of one. Imagine if the power of one group of people, the power, the energy within them is amazing. They're thinking positive. They're just this force of positivity. Imagine the kind of impact these people will have in the world. So 2020 was such a crazy year. It was a crazy year for all of us, right? We went through the pandemic. We had the Black Lives Matter. People have lost people. In that, people even lost their jobs, right? We also had the NSAS movement, the police brutality, the killings. Gosh, we had a lot. There's a lot of pain from different areas of life, from different things. We need to heal. Each and every one of us needs to heal. I mean, if we sit back and really think about it, we've experienced pain. 2020 alone had a way of bringing pain into your life, even if all these other years you had not one. so, So yes, sometimes I say the same things. Okay, so yes, so I'm saying that we all need healing. We all need to heal and um and just begin to give off the right energy in our environment. You know, it's so important. So yeah, so I would say that this is my perspective on healing, and I think it's a really good one. Please pick up the book, read it. There's some areas that you read that are really sad. Yes, but what's the use of sadness if there's no goodness to overcome or happiness to overcome? So um, there's a lot of humor as well. My quirky sense of humor. There's a some twists in this book that I'm not sure how I was able to write those. Yeah, but yes. Yes, I mean, I do talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah. And um, I have gifted it to the world to read and to grow from. So let's grow through our pain. Yes. So buy the book, and I would really love to, you to share what you've gotten. I'm gonna be much more active on social media, to be able to, yeah, and to talk more about the book, and to talk with anyone who wants um, to have a chat about this book. Yeah. Uh, okay. So I have shared. I guess the camera shyness has disappeared. All right, everyone. I'm wishing you an amazing 2021. You're going to see more of me in different ways. God's grace. All right. So, ciao and just keep being blessed.